Now, one of my favorite parts of the run, navigating rock tunnel without flash. Learning this was really fun for me because I feel like when I was a kid, I was just like, man, technically, if you just know this, you wouldn't even have to get flash. You could just fucking, like, bust through it. So I feel like learning rock tunnel just without being able to see anything is like part of like a childhood dream to fulfill for me. I don't know. It's silly, but it's small, but I think it's cool. Rite of passage and God gamer status. Yeah, there is something to say about if you speedrun a game, it's kind of like a badge of like mastery, right? Speedrunning Mega Man X gave me that feeling. Hell yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of people like start thinking like, oh, but it would ruin it for you. I feel like I remember there was like, I went back and I played Mario 64 and I did some things that weren't in the route. I like legitimately felt like I was playing a different video game. I don't know, I was just like walking around an area that I don't usually like play, and it legitimately just felt like a completely new experience. Or not a completely new experience, but I still had that nostalgia that I'm like playing a game from my childhood. If you play it casually, do you still do certain speedrun tricks? Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that actually helps the experience, so you're not just sitting there getting frustrated. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, when I was a kid, this was so easy. What the fuck is happening? But now you're just like equipped with better tools to be able to experience the game better. And yeah, there's certain things that are like, it breaks some of the magic, but a lot of that magic's gonna be dead anyway because you already know the game. You've already probably played a lot of it. Putting the casual hat back on, talking to NPCs and stuff, it gives you the feels again. It doesn't go away. But that's always what people say. They're like, oh, I don't want to speedrun because like it's just gonna ruin the magic of the game, and it really doesn't. It really just feels like if you picked up a game that you loved as a child and it now has just like a new game mode on it, you know what I mean? And it's a game mode that any game can have. So much so that so many games have actually like integrated speedrunning into like part of its experience, and sometimes in a lazy way. Like I feel like with Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, it was just a lazy like, we assume you're gonna speedrun the game, and everyone's like, no. It's not why I'm playing Metal Gear, because that Ground Zeroes is so fucking short. Kojima assumed people would want to play the game multiple times, which I always feel like is a very, very, very risky thing to assume of gamers. Even for a game that has a lot of playability, it's not fucking assumed. Platted the Mass Effect trilogy, for example, really taught me more about the... Yeah, dude, I love Mass Effect. What was I reading recently? Oh, there was like some article where people were bitching about... Or the article was like, what's a game that had such a fucking infuriating ending? And of course, Mass Effect 3 came up. Like, I still to this day understand like why people are mad about it, but... I'm just glad that I personally didn't mind it that much. The actual like summation of Mass Effect 3 for me was like so much more rewarding, I feel like. I would agree. 3 had the highest highs and lowest lows. Totally would agree with that. The actual gameplay of that game, the best in the series. Some of those fucking missions were unreal. And it's so hard to do that in a sequel, let alone a third game. I still, to this day, will always fucking recommend people play the third one, especially when they're just like, oh, everyone hated it, right? No, everyone loved playing it, they just got pissed off at the ending. Trying to save time on the fly split is very fucking difficult to do that. Fuck my ass. Old man! I think it means so much to me that, like, I will never forget the words of Morden. Like, for the rest of my life, I'll never forget Morden saying, somebody else could have done it wrong. Shit fucks me up. If you guys haven't played the Mass Effect series, it's peak gaming. I'm telling you, man. It's such unbelievable storytelling in that game. How goes the run? It's okay. It's not anything to write home about right now, but you never know. We can pull it out of its own ass with some epic splits. Try to play KOTOR. Oh, I fucking love KOTOR. Dude, I played KOTOR on the fucking Switch. Still was pretty fucking good. There's definitely some unplayable moments. Had to do some save scumming just to get around the fucking... some of the glitching and shit. But you know what? KOTOR is... I still think KOTOR might... Even though I played it so late, like, I'm talking like... I think I played it in 2020 or something. Whenever it came out on the Switch, that's when I first played it. Still, I think one of the best Star Wars experiences out there. Final Fantasy VII is a classic for a reason. I'm gonna make a hot take here. You guys ready for this hot take? Final Fantasy VII is a classic because it was a good game when it came out, and not so much anymore. Remakes are fucking sick though. I just can't... I feel like I can't stand by anybody who says Final Fantasy VII aged well. Final Fantasy IX has aged better. Yeah, because Final Fantasy VII did not age well. And this isn't like a weird like thing. When I was young, I really enjoyed, I liked Final Fantasy 8 better than 7. However, I don't think 8 aged very well either. Oh my god, Final Fantasy 7's music could not have aged like better. It's the greatest. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7, it's the only Final Fantasy game. There's some people who really fucking believe that, man. Or not believe it, but they talk like it. Yeah, I'd say the peak of Uematsu's writing for Final Fantasy was at 7. At 10 wins for Otherworld? I don't know. I like the concept of Otherworld. I don't really like the execution of Otherworld. It's like how people say Metal Gear Solid is the first Metal Gear game out. Yeah, I know. Does anybody actually say that, though? Play 10's battle theme when I'm already doing 10's battle theme is so fucking good. I actually like 10's battle theme better than 7's. But again, 7's fucking intro theme, one-winged fucking angel, it's incredible. Incredible crafting of wiggly air. Metal Gear Solid kind of pretends to be a remake of Metal Gear. Does it? I don't really think so. They're so different, like the stories. And Metal Gear Solid is supposed to be like later, like way later. Do you think Kojima's a little full of himself? Yeah, but he makes good games out of it. I don't think it really matters that he's like full of himself. He's not like, I don't know. Is he like a dick to the people who works with him? Like maybe, I don't know. But I don't know, I feel like it doesn't really affect the games too much. Look at that Golbat! Look at that motherfucker! I think that's my favorite sprite in the game. I think Golbat. Yeah, that's the peak sprite right there. That it both positively and negatively impacts his games. I will take a little bit of arrogance affecting my video games than rampant sexism and fucking Blizzard Activision. Like that shit affecting my video games. I think in the grand scheme of things, a really prolific video game developer being a little fucking full of himself for some good reasons, I'll take that over what else we have. It's all that shit, man. It's tough. How much do we separate the art from the artist? I think that comes down to every individual, because I think there really should be something to be said about it. Because at a certain point in art, when you put out art, it's not really yours anymore. I feel that way about the limited amount of stuff that I've put out. It feels like it's no longer yours when you put it out to the world. And I think there's a slight responsibility of being aware of that and not fully attaching yourself. And I feel like there's almost like emotional backlash for being too attached to art that you've put out into the world. What's up, you fucking 10-year-old? I remember how recently it was. And even then, it's still... I feel like one of the most controversial ones right now is Harry Potter. Trans rights is such a pressing issue. And for anyone who's unclear, I am very pro-trans rights and protecting trans kids and all adults, teenagers, everyone. Maybe that's like where and how bad it is, like how bad the art is. The Harry Potter universe is very good, and it's frustrating that the creator is such a raging cunt. But I choose to allow Harry Potter to be its own thing and be completely detached from that woman. It feels magical and it's not the most well thought out world. Like, what is the most well thought out world? But it's tough because a lot of people who are very hurt by the things that J.K. Rowling does, it's hard to be like, yeah, I agree. I think it's really fucked up, but I still really like Harry Potter. I don't know. Maybe it's fucked up of me, but I really just wish I could just believe that it just came out of the ethos. Harry Potter is no longer something created by J.K. Rowling. Yeah, Tsune Miku made Harry Potter and supports trans rights. That's what I want to believe. I grew up on Harry Potter. Ever since I read the first Harry Potter books as a kid. Really tough. I think it's just Bad Dragon. What are you talking? What? What? Hold on a second. Are we talking about Bad Dragons? Dragon these nuts. Yes. Bad Dragon these nuts feels a little bit overkill. We're talking about the best gamer chairs? Yeah, Bad Dragon gamer chairs. Great lumbar support.